Well, pack a lunch. Yo, we have 6 fights. 6 fights that went the distance. I mean, 7, but we're just looking at 6 here, right? And some were exciting as fuck. Now, some, not great. There were, surprisingly enough, there were similarities with a few of these fights, right? We started off with the first fight of the night, right? It was Piera Rodriguez v Ketlen Souza. It was the strawweight going at it. And I kind of felt that this was similar to, turns out, the next fight, right? Which was the, well, it was meant to be a flyweight one. And there was a few people that missed weight on this one, right? And this was one of them. And yeah, both of these fights were kind of similar, right? Because, I mean, with the strawweights, right? We had Piera Rodriguez, you know, I think she came out very, very aggressively. And Souza, you know, Souza was good. Souza was landing the heavier shots, right? She was landing the heavier shots. But Rodriguez took her down with ease. And, you know, Souza got up a few times, but then just got taken down again. She couldn't stop the takedowns. And Rodriguez was just able to really just do what she wanted on the ground. Obviously, not everything, but she couldn't get the finish. But she pretty much controlled it there, you know? Pretty much controlled it on the ground. And that was a very similar situation to Rafael Esteban and Felipe Bunes, right? In their clash, because Bunes, you know, good on his feet, everything like that, but taken down kind of with ease from Esteban. Now, with that fight has the caveat that Estevam missed weight, right? There was that. And that's, you know, that always casts a dark shadow over everything, because if you're heavier, yeah, holding someone down makes it a little bit easier, though, right? Though we have seen plenty of great jiu-jitsu competitions where the lighter person, you know, wins. Because, you know, like, weight is one thing, but position is always key, right? You can overbalance someone, you can use another limb to manipulate and use that as a fulcrum to get on top. There are different ways, but you need to know all of that stuff, you know? But yeah, Esteban, he was able to get that win and just control Bunes on the ground. Again. Now, with the strawweights, that was a split decision. Though, I think Rodriguez did win it, right? Clearly won the fight. And I picked Souza. So, you know what I mean? For me to be like, yo, yeah, it was clearly Rodriguez. Yeah, it wasn't a split decision. You know, we had 2 judges, 29-28 for Rodriguez, 1 the other way for Souza. Now, for our flyweights, that was just 29-28 across the board, which, fair, you know, fair. Because on his feet, Bunes was very good. It's just he wasn't able to stay there much, right? Which, you know, That's the problem. Right, so we then jump to another. Right, it ended up being another frigging catchweight fight, right? It was a middleweight clash between Tresean, Gore, and Rodolfo Vieira, but Gore came in heavy again, right? He's one of these fighters that has missed weight on several occasions, so he came in heavy, and but this fight, right? When you think about it, this Gore, his nickname is Mr. Vicious. Did not look vicious in there at all, right? Didn't look vicious at all. Now, what was interesting was Vieira could not get a takedown. Couldn't get a take. Like, Gore's defense was very good. I mean, if I remember, I think maybe Vieira got one or two, but Gore got up, right? He wasn't able to control the fight on the ground like we've seen him do in other fights. So Gore did a very good job on that front. But Vieira, now obviously his stand-up still isn't the finished article, right? He's not, not slick on the feet or anything like that. But definitely we see improvements, and he was more efficient with it than we have seen. So he did really well with the stand-up and controlled the stand-up, right? So obviously, like, getting it to the floor would be the best path to victory for him. But on the feet, he still controlled the fight. Right? Like, Gore, not really doing anything. It kind of seemed like he was fighting to stay safe. And obviously, you don't want to kind of, disparage anyone who's prepared to put their life on the lines like this, right? Who's willing to go in there and throw down with someone. But it really didn't seem that Gore was fighting to win, which does seem weird, because why would you be in there, right? But he wasn't taking the fight to Vieira at all, which it was a little baffling. It was moments where you think, oh, I think he's going to step on the gas, and then he just did not. So yeah, was a head scratcher for sure. Definitely a head scratcher, that one. But, the black belt hunter gets back on the win column with this. And I think going forward, it will give him more confidence maybe in the stand-up. Now, for sure, he needs to, it's funny, right? Vieira needs to work on his takedowns, right? And then people like Felipe Bunes and Ketlen Souza need to work on their takedown defense, right? So, yeah, a lot of people, hey, there's stuff you need to take away with you going forward, right? Now, our next fight. Now we get to the real friggin' excitement of things, right? As I say, two of these fights were ridiculous. And our featherweight clash of Danny Silva and Kevin Vallejos was one of those fights. Jesus Christ. This fight was bonkers. And it was the first where you're like, fight of the night. It was the first of one of those, right? And we had 3 of those that were like, yo. It is a bit similar to our second fight of the night nominee. You know, with this one, these two just went at it, right? It was the perfect fight to open up the main card, you know, because they were throwing down. I mean, Kevin Vallejos, he is so fucking good. Oh my God. He's got a refinedness to his style, right? Where he is very precise with his shots and he throws in volume, right? Silva was just 1-2 shots. Vallejos is throwing multiple. He's throwing combos, right? And that's where he is winning. It's the third and fourth shot that come through and land. Because Silva's movement was very good. Oh my God. Really good footwork. Exceptional head work, right? He was getting his head out the way, just avoiding a shot. Slick. Very slick. But when you're throwing, 4, 5, 6 shots back to back, that's when you catch people, right? So someone can have good head movement, avoid the first, maybe the second, and then they think, cool, look at me, boom, 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 you know what I mean? Then they get hit with the follow-ups. And that's what Vallejos was doing. He was landing those shots, attacking the body well. Oh man, some sick shots to the body. Whew. But, right, I will say he was getting hit. You know what I mean? Now, Vallejos, he looked very good. Right? You can definitely look at him and go, I think at some point he's going to be fighting for contention. Right? He's going to be fighting some of the top people in the division for, number one status, for a potential title shot. He's going to be in those conversations at some point, you feel. But you do not want to pick up too much damage on the way, right? Because then you might get that title shot. Right? You might get that title shot and everyone's like, yes, they're so durable, man. They can walk through everything. And then in that title fight, it's over. Right? And I think we saw that with Tony Ferguson. Man, his durability was legendary until it wasn't. Right? Up to the Gaethje fight, you were just like, Ferguson, man, no one can take him out. No one can rock him. He is it. And then in that fight, it was just, it had gone, right? The shot resistance had gone. And then the fights after that, it really had gone. So Vallejos, he doesn't want to get that. So you definitely need to work a little bit more on the defense, but tremendous win and incredible fight. So we next go with the women's bantamweight. We have Nora Cornolle against Rosa. And this fight, right, it was a bit like the first two fights. And Karol, comes out aggressive and everything, but Rosa was able to stay calm and just get takedowns and control. Right, there was one point Cornolle went for a jump knee, and she got caught and taken down. Right, it was just those things. It was a lack of fight IQ. And just Rosa just being that experienced fighter, right? Having that knowledge, that ability to shift, right? When you can see something isn't working, being like, okay, I'm changing gears, right? I'm going to do this. This is going to get me to where I want to be. And I think that was the big thing with Rosa. And she walked away with a unanimous decision, 30-27 and 2 29-27s. 29-27 doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that's a little odd, right? Unless you're taking a point away. But yeah, 29-27 doesn't necessarily make sense. But Rosa, yeah, clear winner. Clear winner. Now, we then go to the lightweights, right? Our featured bout. Elves Brener against Esteban Ribovics. And this was another fight of the night contenders. Holy camole. This was freaking great. That's what this was, right? This was phenomenal. Oh my gosh, these guys threw down. Oh Lord, they threw down. And you know, it was one of those where like Brener was on a 2-fight losing streak. Ribovics, he lost his last fight, right? Which was right? He put on that crazy fight at Nacho. Yeah, and then he lost to Nasrat Hasparas, but it was very contentious. You know what I mean? So you think that could have left a bad taste in his mouth? Maybe he tries to change his style slightly, right? What's gonna happen? But oh my days, these dudes threw down. And look, as I was saying, it was kind of similar to the Danny Silva Kevin Vallejos fight, right? Where they didn't leave anything left over. These motherfuckers emptied the gas tank, people, right? And you know, it's the combinations, right? It's the combinations of Ribovics that I think helped him seal this fight. Like, Brener was throwing. Brener was landing, right? Which, again, a bit like Kevin Vallejos, Ribovics definitely wants to work on that defense because you do not want your chin going sooner than it may do, right? So needs to work on that. But, man, it was well-placed shots, right? Going for the body, just really good fight IQ when it comes to attack, right? When it comes to attack, really good, spot on. And Brener, mad heart, right? He took a lot of shots. Boy, he took a lot of shots, and there was times when you just think, how is he not knocked out from that? Like, how is this guy still standing? You know? Like, you thought that. I think he landed a head kick at one point, and you're just like, wait, how did Ribovics eat that? You know what I mean? So both showed mad heart, right? Incredible durability. It was one of them fights where you were just on the... It was ferocious. Really was, people. It ended 30-27 on 2, 29-28 on another. I think 30-27 is fair, but it's one of them ones where it's not a blowout, right? 30-27 makes it look like you just ran away with it. It's not that. He was in control throughout. But, you know, but Brener wasn't far off, right? He wasn't, oh, he's got no chance, right? He can't do anything here. No. Brener was there against anyone else. I think Brenner's probably winning because he did look good. But man, Ribovics just had his number. Could not miss with the right. It was fantastic. It was a fantastic fight and perfect way to take us into the co-main event, man. People, the lightweights really showed the fuck up on this card, which, you know, when you look at everything that's going on, right, you want to make your mark. You want to show people, hey, I've got potential. I could be up there, right? You should put me in a big fight. Everyone's vying for, right, position, right, next to challenge, next to be in consideration, next for our number one contendership, right? Everyone's vying for those things. So you want to put on, you know, great performances to get that attention. And, both of, you know, our lightweight, Esteban Ribovics, and, you know, our co-main event, hey, they put on those displays. So yeah, hats off to them. And people, as I said, we now jump to our co-main event of the evening.